Hi. Uh, I am late. This is bad. One sec. Apparently I don't have my stream voice on yet. Okay, what else do I need to do? I need to, like, tell people that I'm streaming. So just give me, I don't know, another 4 minutes or something. And then we'll start. But, I did do what I promised to do last time, which is good. That being... Let's see. That being... let me just show you. You guys can, look at what we have here. Here are the problem words that and other words that I decided to highlight. The ones with checks are ones that do work, but they're also ones that I decided to highlight because they were either interesting or they had a phonological form similar to what we have in similar to what we have in words with errors. Which is why I decided to highlight them. Okay. Let's see. What else? 1, 2, third location. Can I hear myself? Okay, that's good enough. Reconstruction again. I know I call it Reconstruction, but what is happening? Yeah, I know I call it Reconstruction, but it's not actually Reconstruction. I'm just doing sound changes, which might be part of Reconstruction. I don't know how people consider it, or like what people would consider it, actually. But yeah, here is what we have. Oh, one more location. Almost forgot. Me. No. Wait, how do you type again? There we go. Play by Lo. So this is kind of messing with my head. Typing stroke order while trying not to think about what stroke order is, I don't know. It's like, I feel like typing and writing are ultimately two different skills. Yeah, no shit, right? But I don't know. I feel like even though I'm typing out the strokes on a computer, they still feel very different because I feel like when I'm writing, like there's like the automatic feedback of like I've done this stroke, I've done that stroke, and like I don't know. At some point, your hand just goes on autopilot and writes the next character correctly. But then, if you're doing it, if you're writing, or if you're typing, the feedback is different. So like, at this point, I could just like pop out you pretty easily. But words that I've written tons of times in the past, like I don't know, 九州 with 九字, like the character for morning. I feel like, I don't know, that tripped me up for some reason when I was typing it out. Anyway, enough yapping. I should get my water. I didn't refill my water before this. I was like, last night, when I was playing Outer Wilds, I was like, I can do it tomorrow morning. And then I went and got breakfast, and the breakfast was bigger than I expected. I have like a quarter of a bottle of water left in my water bottle. Which is not normally what I use. I have a giant tank that I fill up with water. Yeah, so I didn't refill it after last night because it was late, and then I got something this morning, and then I got a drink, and then I finished it instead of leaving it for the stream proper. Anyway, did I tell these guys that I'm streaming? Yes I have. Anyway, I'm not gonna play the thing that a friend just sent. Is that's not the topic of today's stream. Wait, the setup isn't complete. One sec. Now it's complete. I had to grab my tissues. Okay. Right. What do we have again? This stuff. So, one easy fix that I've noticed while compiling this is that N and L don't actually merge before E. So, for example, I'm just going to delete this and then import it later. So, for example, ni and li, the word for you, ni, and the word for to stand or to be upright, li. These come out the same with this series of sound changes for now, but as you can see, this one's actually ni. I was wondering why I kept the palatal nasal here, and that's because it is actually phonemic, because that one's ni. But this one, where's the word for to stand? Stand here, is ni. Well, obviously they're in different tones, so technically they don't merge, but the segments do merge, which is a problem, which means we have to put end palatalization, which was previously here, further up. I don't think it's going to be a problem. When it comes to this, I think I could just put it at 16. Yeah. Oh, this is just... Okay, there's a pre-existing... Yeah. Oh, it might be... No, these won't conflict because these are different initials, so... end palatalization, for example, should be fine. So N becomes ing. And honestly, this is amazing because we actually have a lot of stuff to do on Sichuanese. There's the obvious like differences with the Beijing stuff, which is which comes about due to Yes. Apart from the obvious, like, Beijing stuff. So, I guess it would be at Palatalize. And so this one will become Ni. And this one becomes Ni. Okay. Yes. Anything else I have to do? Probably drink some water. Okay, so another thing that we're having problem with is this one. Sheet becoming s instead of the correct se, I think. Where is it? Here. This one's becoming se zi, se zi. And you can see this is part of why I think these are surprisingly related. Look at maps, maybe. Can we look at Google Maps without it doxing me? I cannot. I guess we could just like map of China. This probably has like all the significant places in China, right? Yeah, this is good actually. So if we take a look at the current territory of China, we have Nanjing here and then Chongqing and Chengdu here. Hope you can see my mouse. Once again, the purple stuff is showing. Anyway, so I guess it isn't that far. It isn't all that. Oh, and they're also along the Yangtze, so it would make sense. I don't know. I just feel like for some okay, so this is actually fine. Like we could call this like Southern Mandarin, right? For some reason, I thought like Xi'an was a bit further south and Chengdu was a bit further north, so you'd end up with like a kind of ring situation. I wonder if I could show it. Show what I'm thinking. I wonder if there's something like this. Sure. Something like that. Can I find well, I have the page and I have the image that I found that I used to find the page. Probably languages of Japan. Yeah, there we go. This is what I wanted. So I was thinking maybe it would look something like this with Nairin, which is the inner circle, the inner ring, Churin, which is the middle ring, and then Gairin, which is the outer ring, with Kyoto type in the middle. I thought I would face like troubles like this with like Northern Mandarin cutting the stuff in half, but thankfully that's not the case. Hello, Arco. Yeah, I was just explaining what I was thinking, like because these two seem pretty similar, and I thought my grasp of China's geography isn't all that good. I thought like Xi'an or something would like cut it right in the middle. But apparently not. I was basically worried that Northern Mandarin would be in like a Kyoto type tone kind of situation where it's flanked by quote unquote Southern Mandarins on both sides. But looking at the actual map, it doesn't seem to be the case. It looks like the South really is the South, and then like you could draw a pretty clean line between the Northern Mandarins and the Southern Mandarins. Yeah. You popping in and immediately seeing Tokyo type tone. Actually, I have been reading about the tone development of Japonic recently. I've been trying to get through Deboer, and there was also that other one, right? Which one was it? Like Shimabukuro? I'm making very slow progress through those two. Or, well, through the Boers. I haven't started Shimabukuros yet. But yeah, talking about these two being similar, and the reason that came up was because this one's not the correct development. Honestly, given this, I'm tempted to say that this is a departing tone word. I'm pretty sure. I think I'm pretty sure that these tones were like something like 3-1 C. I don't know. There's like 1-3 here. I forgot what the rising tone was. Oh, 1-1-2. It's like right there. And then it's like 4-4, and then it has a preserved entering tone, which is 5. So, yeah. This is... Oh, the tone patterns are different, though. But whatever. The tone patterns, I'm going to assume, are pretty easy to change. But yeah, I think... Okay, now this one's right. The reason I kept around Jia, and there was another one. I think it was Jia. Yeah. Was that so that we could compare it with this? So if that's the case, I think I want to just keep these around. And maybe Nyok as well. Yeah, let's deal with Nyok as well. And then this one's in the wrong tone. Which is a problem. I think I would say I probably need more words of the rhyme yolk to figure out what's going on with meat here, because it seems like all of these, honestly, even the ones with like a perfectly conserved, well, near perfectly conserved entering tone, like these two, Taiyuan and Shinzhou, have something like zo or ro instead of what you'd expect, which is the glottal stop final. And as you can see somewhere here, these have like, well, ignore Wenzhou, but Suzhou, for example, has a stop final. So I'm not sure if it's like, so right now there are essentially like two hypotheses, which are that Yop becomes U, which becomes U, or like, you know, consonant Yop becomes or consonant Yop becomes consonant U, which is equivalent to, at least in our reconstruction, consonant U. And so it's an early merger into the departing tone, or like an early loss of the final stop coda. Or the alternative explanation is that it was an Old Chinese alternation, which we have already seen in the word for nose. So we have B and B, which come out to be, which, you know, some groups have one of them and some other groups have another. So maybe it's another case of this where you have this and that, which is equal to like that, right? Or something like that. Which, I don't know. I think that's definitely one that's in need of more words to verify it. But do we have, yeah, voicing sonorant 0, yeah. So if we apply these, this one comes out wrong, the others are right, and we need this too. But then why does this, okay, so does that mean that the retroflex dissimulation happens like really early then? Where E becomes a? Or eh? Or does it just become like eh after or before a T? The K I can explain, but there might not be any other similar words. I need like a retroflex and retroflex E stop coda. So if we have the word for wet, which I don't think is actually in this set, we would be set, but you know, it's not here. Oh, maybe this one. No, you don't have it. Because this one would be the correspondent to sec, but you guys use like Mandarins use ch or ts or something like this one. Ch. What else? What else? Who doesn't fulfill those criteria? Maybe something to do with this? Jing looks similar when it comes to the shape, except it's not a stop coda, it's a nasal coda. I mean, feel free to throw out any ideas you have. Oh, liu. Right. So they do have a similar form, but it looks like nu might be the original. But then you see this here as well. These also lose their stop codas, but Lanzin doesn't. So honestly not sure how to deal with this. It seems like there are two strains. One, oh, okay, so looking at this, I think the second one is compounded. Is the compound more ancient? Hard to determine. I feel like it's possible, given the Okay, also these are like sisters. 字母, which would be which would probably correspond to northern, like Harbin / Beijing 姊妹 or 姊妹 or something like that because of the rotation. But otherwise, I think this might be more ancient. If this is more ancient, then Right, I did say that I'm not gonna bother with... Yeah. I think we're keeping the stop coda here. And maybe this is the... I guess you could also explain it as like phonological word. Like if it's in a phonological word, it becomes an open coda, which diphthongizes into that. Versus if it's standalone, then it preserves the stop coda more nicely. Which is how it eventually evolves into nu. But the problem is that the tone also doesn't check out. And also looking at the Lanjing correspondence seems to suggest that these two have a different origin, because Lanjin also diphthongizes this, or at least also has an open coda in this, and Chengdu also has an open coda here. So I think like the yok to you hypothesis doesn't really work out. I think we have to go with two different lemmas for this one. So we have both nyok and what was it? New or something like that. And I think in Mandarin, the word for meat has to be something like new, or unless the word for meat is a late loan from Mandarin into a, like all the Mandarinic languages or varieties or whatever you want to call them, because these are all like departing tone correspondences, and this is like rou would be the regular evolution of nyo, or sorry, of nyo into yeah, that would be the regular correspondence of nyo into Beijing Mandarin. So, but then, okay, when did it overtake it in prestige? Like the older Mandarin. I guess we could also just check old Mandarin to see if it has an open coda or a closed coda. If it's open, then some wacky shit is going on here. I wonder if I can check the dump, or is that frowned upon? Let's see. Let us see. That would be the dump part 1, I think. Oops. Okay, now might have to edit that out. Whatever. Where is Mandarinic? And Wait, would you guys even have it in here, or would you have it in 3? You might have it in 3. Wait. Yes. Oh, I guess I could have just like clicked on part 3, which is like right there. This is under historic. Or maybe I shouldn't be doing this on stream. I feel like this is like exactly the stuff I wanted to avoid. Sinitic, local Chinese. Yeah, I can just show this here. Let's see. Local and written Middle Chinese. There we go. Late Imperial Mandarin. What's the one after that? Oh, novels and literature. Palatal nasal. I am thinking of... Yes, this one. Koblin. When no one else got me, Koblin got me. And maybe... No. Huh. I'm surprised they don't have the book itself. Vocabulario. This would be like R or Z, right? Unless it's like in Mandarin, in which, or not in Mandarin, but like in early modern Spanish. It is. What is meat in Spanish? Carne or something? Carne. Carne. Cardar. Cargar. Carne. Jo. Which is... I keep forgetting. Is the dot... Okay, this is like a brev and a dot. Not a brev and a dot. A Karen. A Karen? A garon and a dot. And when it comes to the romanization, it does have a stop coda. Okay. Interesting. If it has a stop coda, that means it's not true of all Mandarins. Or like, see, if that had ew, then that would make the decision pretty easy, where I could just say that Mandarinic, the entire branch just has the ew form, or has an ew form, so the word for meat would have been new. But apparently it had an original new. The problem is that Yuan Dynasty Mandarin wouldn't be very much help here because it's the direct ancestor of modern Beijing Mandarin, and by then they had already lost all final stops. Or at least that's what Pulley Blank says. I know that there's like mixed there's a mixed opinion among sinologists, where I think most of the people in China argue that it had, it still had like at least a separate entering tone. So the tone that developed from words with a stop coda. But I feel like, I don't know. I feel like that's an unjustified assumption, or it's a conclusion based on the unjustified assumption that Mandarin, in addition to being the ancestor to modern Beijing Mandarin, Beijing and Northeastern Mandarin, is also the ancestor to a bunch of Central Plains dialects here. And, you know, they're called Central Plains, but they kind of extend into the Northwest. Dhiraj, hello, welcome. You think Roshang would still be indicated through Paxba? This word had entering in. No, yeah, but like, the question is whether that book really did have the entering tone, or whether it's because, as I remember it, they were pretty connected to the prior tradition, like prior rhyme book traditions, and in that case they would be familiar with which words, or at least somewhat familiar with which words are quote unquote supposed to have the entering tone. We could just hit up C-text, but I don't want to hit up C-text like right now. Anyway, enough dallying. I think honestly this might just be best explained as a replacement based on the Beijing form. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it a replacement. Why did it replace all of them? I don't know. It feels maybe this is like everything in historical linguistics. It's just gonna be like, oh, this isn't satisfactory. That isn't satisfactory. Everything's unsatisfactory. And like even earlier, I'm like, there aren't any like genetic groups in Sinitic. It's all aerial. Everything's aerial all the time. But yeah, I guess I'm just not gonna care about this then, or at least I'm gonna leave that till later, because that wasn't even the original thing we were trying to deal with. We were trying to deal with this, which comes out as se in Chengdu. So yeah, right. I was trying to like look at other words with like a retroflex and e and a stop coda, but I'm not sure. Well, this one's not a retroflex, but this comes out as e. But the problem is that a bunch of other stuff assimilates to e. Do we have like, surely we have just like some word that's like retroflex plus e, right? Yeah, okay, something like this, right? The problem is that the word for 10 comes out correctly as so it seems like I don't know. It like everything's right apart from this one. Motherfucker. I think I got bitten by a mosquito. I just killed one, and my hand is red now. And my leg was also itching. So anyway, uh so the thing is that uh both of these, like, all everything except for this one is right. And at least in theory I don't see a difference between shit and jeep. At least it seems like they're closely, the syllables are similar enough that I would expect them to develop similarly. Um, so I'm surprised that this one came out as se, unless they develop differently. Like the rhymes develop differently depending on the coda. That's hard to deal with, unless it's like just depending on how conserved they are, or maybe it's like significant replacement of the vast majority of their vocabulary. But I feel like I'm reaching for that too much, and you know, I feel like every other every other lect. It's not even every other lect. I feel like it's every lect, every Mandarinic lect. I'm like, maybe they just replaced literally all of their vocabulary with something new. Um, which is unconvincing, quite frankly. But the problem is that I don't know how to deal with the discrepancy between sheet and jeep. Or, of course, it could just not be shit. And so, okay, looking at this one had okay. If we're going off of Lanzine, right? This one had shirt. So this had a syllabic coda, but for this guy, the word for louse, this one had set, which, oh, is this one of those words where it alternates? Okay, let me think about this. Maybe this was a bad idea. Maybe I should have done Lantin first, given how similarly these two act. Because it seems like Lantin just has a bunch of conservatisms that seem to make it easier, like the preservation of the entering tone. And so, for example, if we look at this, we can just straight up say that Lantin entering tone develops into tone 2-1 in Tendu, and retroflexes get lost, and then retroflexes get lost. The palatals, which are allophones of the velars, merge into the dentals. Or, well, technically the dentals merge into the palatals. And then we will have to split N and L back up to explain stuff like this. The NL split, and then conserving the initial. But otherwise, I feel like and the preservation of N and Eng as a coda. But otherwise, I feel like maybe this was a bad idea. like starting with Tundu is a bad idea. So maybe we could maybe we should be doing Lanzine first. Or okay, next stream we'll do Lanzine, but let's power through this for now. See, even the words for who are pretty similar. It really is just they really are the same language. No, they really are very similar. I feel like we really could just straight up derive Tendo from Lanzine. See, even the word for even the word for horn looks the words for horn look similar. So you have your Lanzine go and your Tendo go. Ooh. Okay. This is interesting because this one has okay, you know what? We could start with like some sort of proto Lanzine Chengdu and then try to derive everything from it. Okay. Okay. Let's just quickly I feel like these are similar enough that we could straight up okay. We could just do this essentially. Let's go through the 100 words and just like quickly come up with something, right? So, do we want a separate sheet for this? We might want to. So let me just mess around with OBS and do that. Let's bring this up top, and then I think we could copy these, start a new thingy, do that, and then well, I don't need any of these, so let's delete these columns. Let's keep these. Anything else I need? Well, yeah, I do need the ID at least, and the orthography just for my convenience. Paste special, paste. Paste would be bad actually. Insert 2 columns left, and then we can do that. And then we can, freeze these, I think. Freeze up to column C, and then freeze up to row 3 or something. Good. That's good. Okay, and then we could just start coming up with off the cuff reconstructions here. So this would be this one would be well, it has a glottal stop, so the tone comes along with it. This would be B. I can't tell. This could be something like Kie H or something like that. This would be something like Shui, or yeah, Shui X. I'm not gonna deal with actual tone values here. This one's Zui. This one's She. Or not that, but like glottal stop. This one's gonna be could do shit, or because I'm lazy, I'm just gonna call them the original. No, I can't do that because there's a contrast here. Unless this is like Ke. I could technically do this as turn this into Ke. But let's keep it as Ke for now. and like just add an asterisk to show that it's kind of uncertain. This one's cool. I really need, there has to be like a way to, I have Win Compose. I don't have to like click things every time. Let's look auto stop in Win Compose. Question mark period. So question mark period. That would be cool. This would be, yes, this correspondence means it's neat. So this is fine. I'm just gonna call this skin or gun. And like technically we could even go further and say that I have Win Compose, but Win Compose hates me, so I can't actually type. I can't actually add my own sequences into the thing. So it's su h. Good. This would be lie. E is fine. This one would just be ngol. We don't have one here. This would have to be set. This is well, sure. Do you have syllabic R? Have like a proper syllabic R. Have one somewhere else. You have the word for wing. And we have, actually we might not. Because I think I replaced them all with either a Z or like the just the dental R. Here. Okay. Anyway, we could do, well, yeah, it's definitely wrong. This would be sure, and then I could probably do like combining what is it, line below or something. Yeah, here we are. So sure, bang. Right. This would be pretty much this, right? So H. This would be O. This is E. I'll just call this in. It might be an independent merger. It's like not out of the question because this is like, it's just a simulation, right? So it could have happened independently. This one would be yeah though. This would be R or R or something like that. This would be a rising tone though. This would be Jin. So again, copying this. Rising tone, quote unquote rising tone, because there isn't actually any rise there. I'm gonna say that this is the original form because I'm pretty sure these don't contrast. Like this verges into like open air territory. Open air territory anyway. These are different. So there's no, unless there's a pattern of like mid vowel raising, like open mid vowel raising here. It would explain. No, that's the opposite though. So never mind. There might not be a protoform here. This one would be Fang. B. Oh, I guess I should mark the rest with A, right? Whatever. Let's just say the voiced ones are B. This one would be lots of copy pasting going on here. Again. So that and then so have to be shi. This would be cool, which basically survives unchanged. This would be jiang or jiang. So that it would be ng though. So something like that. These would both be ya or ya. This would be fa or fa. Or like just a mid-tone fa. This would be da h. This would be this. This one could actually be reconstructed as la go or something like that. This one's obviously ta, which is Mandarinic in its form. This one's just da. This one would be jiao, I think. Yeah. We could explain the rounded glide as assimilation, and I don't think I've seen yaw anyway. Like, I'm pretty sure yaw only exists in the landing column. Oh, well, okay. Yo. Okay, this one's yo though, and not like this is phonemically yo, but phonetically it's yo. So the lack of rounding is completely explicable. So yeah, this could technically be analyzed as yo, jiu, or jiu. This one would be go. Well, I guess I didn't have to copy that. This could be. Oh, interesting that this has a. No, but this. This one isn't a neat correspondence because this one, Chengdu has. The tone correspondences don't work out right. We could just question mark this. This one, however, is E. This is probably a typo. This is probably meant to be 1-3. What is this? This would be. Is this bird? I actually don't know. The correspondences don't work out anyway. The initial is off. Apparently have both forms, but the first one doesn't correspond. So it has to be okay. So where's that? Where's the other one? Here. Whatever. Let's just copy that. And then this comes out as true. I think it's likely that the first one here is a borrowing. And I guess true would just be eat. Anyway, this would be he. This would be do h. And then qi. Yeah, qi. I think. Oh, just fingers went on autopilot. I've been typing too much. Gaelic IPA. This would imply that it's the upper tone. Or maybe it's like a or a re-stressed. That could be it. That could actually be the explanation. Where this one is like it has a stress first syllable and an unstressed second syllable. Because by default I feel like most tones or like most Sinitic languages, when they adapt a toneless syllable into something with a tone, it just ends up in the first syllable. Or not the first syllable, but like the first tone, like yampeng in Cantonese, which would probably be something like imbin. No, imbing. No, imbyang in the proto language. Yeah. Anyway, in Hakka it would be impit. But yeah, like it just ends up in the top leftmost tone in most languages. But I'll mark this as a question mark because I'm really not sure. Oops. That works. This would be how's something like meow or something. Unless nga also merges. No, but then tooth doesn't though. So this one's weird. I'm not sure. That's a question mark. This one would be just be bay. This one would be I'm just going to assume Lanzin underwent the same sound change as everyone else, or most of the other Mandarins, where all becomes, or no, u becomes. Well, literally, it's basically just like a no, it's not just the syllable feng, but also probably like if there are any syllables of the shape like bong, pong, stuff like that, it would end up as bung, a pung, or something like that. In any case, these are. I'm just going to say that this is fong because I feel like this is. I don't like this analysis essentially, as all. I mean, you could argue that phonemically it's like all, and then it ends up, I don't know, unrounding to and then fronting. But yeah, I'm running out of water, so maybe I shouldn't talk that much. But then I feel like the entire Cinetic Reconstruction series just basically requires me talking for the entire duration of this. Again, this is like Ian. This one again doesn't seem to have a correspondence here. Nor does this. This one would be done though. Oh, another case of the same correspondence, I think. Maybe. No, this isn't the same correspondence as this. This one did palatalize, and this is specifically yeah, and this one's e, but to give is e and e. But there might be something there. Or it could just be an aerial word. I don't know. This one's pretty obvious. This one pretty much survives unchanged. This one would be shao. This would be bu. This would be hao by then. This is zhi. I really should just have on. Well, I would say yeah, of course I'd say that we should probably have that on a hotkey. But then the only way to have that be a hotkey is through that I know of is through WinCompose, and WinCompose is not cooperating with me, so I can't actually compose my own sequences. Problem here. This is a problematic correspondence. There might not be a correspondence here. Sha is of course Sha. I'm just going to use the Lanjian form for that in absence of any evidence from Chengdu. Although, of course, it could always just be like like an extremely divergent reflex in Chengdu, because no, wait, I did search by stroke count and I couldn't find it. I mean, there's always like some possible error to this, but I've searched both what I would expect the reflex to be and, more importantly, what like the words by stroke number. So I feel like I've covered my bases sufficiently there. This one comes from yet, so I'm just going to call this yet. As in, like, here it says the yer, or yer comes from yet. Again, same principle. Instead of o, I'm going to use u. This one's gan, which honestly, I feel like the fact that this original gon becoming gan does explain why this one ends up as o, because there's more space at the back of the vowel space, and so o lowering to o, like hong instead of hong, would make sense. And speaking of that, this would have to be b. This is both, right? This would be tang. Interesting that it has Chengdu has qiang as well. And tang is a b. This one would be p. This one doesn't even have anything there. This would be dai, which is, completely expected. Ma. This would be e. This is this would be like zhong. Zhong and h. Although this is like the word for serious instead of proper, like heavy, proper. And then this would be bin. Yeah, this one's just na. In b. This one's probably like I'm gonna use this. In h. Yeah, h looks right. I'm gonna keep these in parentheses. This one has already been covered up there, so maybe I should move that down here. Where's the word for drink? Yeah, here. Or, well, let's do that, and then um do that. And then yeah, replace that with that. I can just straight up do da here because the only reason I had big there was because there are that word differs between varieties. There are some that use a dai and some of them use da. And then just tui in rising, I think. No, tui would be, yeah, it would be rising. Be, yeah, whole in rising. This would be chang in B, cui in A, or well, chui in A. Huh. Oops. It's good. I'm not sure if this is a typo or not. But I'm just gonna keep that as pow. To fall it would be yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then this would just be yan in rising. Hoi, or well, this would be hui in the default. This would be, or this would be wei in rising. Go in rising. In entering. Bang in rising. Kan in departing, I think. This would be Tian in B. This one's interesting though. This one's a question mark, maybe, unless it's like Schwan. I feel like there's something to unpack here, so I'm just gonna leave that blank for now. This one would be in. This one would be in. This one would be Niao, I think. Niao in rising. Or Qiu in rising. Qiu in rise or in entering. Yeah, B. Hopefully it's obvious enough. Like, hopefully some of these are obvious enough that I don't have to explain them. Well, specifically the ones that I don't explain, I hope are obvious enough. Where were we? Here. And this would be, yeah, just Li in rising. This one might not have. Ooh. Is it ngen? It might be ngen. If it's ngen, does that mean it's not even from the same word? No, but ngen is a different word. I'm thinking of the Cantonese word ngen, which is I don't know, tough, chewy. Like it's about food, where like the texture of like overcooked beef or something like that. This one would be mole. It would be our in departing. Sun yeah, 思. This would be probably 五. This would be 六. This would be 七. Be 八. This would be 九 here, and then this would be 十. I think we have. I need to copy from eat again. So that, and then yeah, 十. And then this would be 两, I think. Be 心. This would be could just straight up do as well. Chia. And then we don't actually have the word for this. Or at least it doesn't look like there's a correspondence. This would be either Nui or Lui. I'm just gonna go with Lei. Or H, sorry. And then this one's just the straight up correspondence. Like pretty clear correspondence here. So now we can copy all of these and put them here. Okay, and then from this we can export this as I don't know, proto Tentu Nanjin or Nanjin, right? Yeah, it would be Nanjin. And then we can just quote unquote just take the do the sound changes. Right. I don't think there are any right. Let's just do entering merger. Like 0, 1? I don't know. Probably 1. Which essentially takes this and then turns it into B. Right, and then oh, actually, if they're I should add A to all of these. Lie would actually be B. I mean, I could probably define something there, but in the interest of connecting it with the other stuff that we have, let's just put A at this stage. Okay. I keep pressing the wrong button. Okay. Probably shouldn't. No, before E, like na and la are preserved before E, but the rest, but not before other segments, I believe, because only the original E gets, or the original na gets palatalized before before E. Oh, right, this one is a question mark, question mark, question mark. Okay. Okay, and then we can save these again. Proto, Tindu, Lenzin. Okay, and then if we apply these, that's good. Okay, I'm not sure about. Let's deal with those later. For all of these, oh yeah, retroflex to dental. I guess, well, these would all be like dental mergers, right? Which means at retroflex, do I have the corresponding dentals for retroflexes to merge into? I feel like the answer is no. So, let's see. I would have to bring up the other one. So Tsundu, what's that last one that we did? Retroflex loss. Yeah. Let's just do that. Ignore that. I guess apart from this, we also have I think it would just be the this, right? Because this is the entirety of the palatals. Like it's just they just differ from the dentals by one sign. So those are the dental mergers, and then we have shui, zui, and all of that stuff. Yod rounding, I guess. So yeah comes yeah up for an all. And then we have xue. And then gu. Yeah. I guess technically these are in complementary distribution. Do we have gone Shugen? Okay. And then I guess this would have to be a new line. Schwaification. And then becomes technically but phonemically all before the set of wa and na, I think. Yeah. And then is there a word that's like nyol? I don't think so. Or liol. Well, in any case, we would do n palatalization here, where n becomes the this nasal, palatal nasal, for a palatalizing environment. And then we merge everything into, and then into we merge L into N. Although I'm not sure how many of those we have left anyway. Maybe this is the way to go. Maybe I should have started with 2 languages. This one's set. Sbang. What else? Zo. Oh, I forgot about this. You would have to do the same thing. I guess this would be, it should technically be an upside down R, but whatever. I think I used Z here anyway, so. And I guess technically if that's the case, I could do unstressed to, or like restress to, or I guess I could do 1. This doesn't have to be in 2. Where the dot becomes a that's my working hypothesis at least. And then what else? You're staying as Feng. I guess I could lower you here. Yeah, I guess ooh, or ong lowering. I'm just gonna say that this is the last rule. U becomes all before like so. Is that it? Is that everything? It might be everything. Let's check. Ho B or B. This one might have to be palatalized. What are the problems here then? Apart from this one becomes a oh, I guess whoopsie me and my OBS skills. Yeah, these are the rules here. I've been typing away and I forgot to change that. But yeah, we're just merging the entering tone into 2-1 as we have over here. And then the dental mergers, which are just merging everything into the dentals, the retroflexes, as well as the palatals into the dentals. Phonemically, of course. Technically, these all technically it would be like these merging into the dentals and then S merging into the palatals instead. Yeah. Because, well, these can all take place at the same time because retroflexes never appear before a yeah. And yod rounding is just the thing that we discovered where yeah becomes yeah before an all. Oh, I guess. Well, if this is a schwarification, right, then this could technically just be that. And then these could all take place at the same time. And then ong lowering, and it's just a bunch of phonemicization stuff. Well, in that case, I feel like uh, phonemicization would be coming all in all cases. I'm pretty sure, and this is fine, but then this would have to be reversed if we're doing this quote unquote properly. But yeah, I'm doing phonemicization like this, so I won't have to deal with these things clashing by reordering them in one. Well, I guess I could do like 1.5, right? Yeah, let's just do this. Phonemicization 1.5. Oh goodness. And half falf. And then I'm just gonna do this. And put you here. Okay. Yeah, I think everything else is fine. I guess technically this would be a phonetic change, which doesn't really affect anything. Oh, yeah, and then in, then yeah. Wait, where's yeah? Oh, yeah, night. R. Or like R, I guess. Maybe I should have turned that into or. Like O, like phonemicize that with O. Maybe that would be a smart move. Oh well. Whatever. Doesn't matter. It's just so in that way, all the schwas actually belong to the all phoneme. We're for neck. Yeah, Jin, Yuan, Fang. Which one is this? The word for rocks. Okay, and then Ku. Jiang. Actually, this is fine. Like looking at my thumbnail, I only have like 2 steps in the thumbnail. I think in that case, like splitting off to. Yeah, okay, I have a thumbnail idea for the next stream. What next? What next? Fa, da, I, la go. I think la go is still. Yeah, na go. Na go. It's good. Ta, da. This one's jo. And this one's go and zet. Oh, is zet not? Did I not put one here? Oh, because the tone is messed up. Why is it 2 and 3 then? Or rather, why is this one 5? Because if this one's like ja, then this coming out as ze is reasonable. But this coming out as ze isn't reasonable. Unless it shares the aerial phenomenon. Unless Lanjin shares the Wu region aerial phenomenon of a short, unstressed, or like a short vowel automatically being assigned to the entering tone, where automatically add glottal stop onto the end of short vowel, which happens a lot with like function words. Maybe. And honestly, I feel like that's also why the reading pronunciation of the Mandarin word for not in a bunch of this word. I feel like the reason that this word is read as but or something like that in a lot of languages with reading traditions is because of Imperial Mandarin coming from south or Yangtze River Basin variety of Mandarin where that happens. So like in the Wu region. What would that be? Southeastern Mandarin? What's the It would be like what? Jianghuai or Jianghuai Mandarin. Or what would that be in? I thought there was another. Oh, it was like Lower Yangtze Mandarin or something like that. What else? I think this is right. I think this is all good. Hair, tooth. Yeah. Where's tooth? We have dealt with like got and stuff, right? Got, got. And then tooth is here. Yeah. Got. Yeah. Jo. Go. And then we were having trouble with ze, right? Rain being. Oh, this isn't rain. This is fish. This is yu. Or yu. I guess. Yu. This one's 昨天. I guess this one, 41. Where is it? After you. We do have a good correspondence. Right, this one's tall. Two. Why is it 2-4? 2-4 is probably a 1-3. So this. No, but then the aspiration's wrong, right? This one just refer to eat. He. Yeah, this one's black. Come in he. 肚脐 is right, although okay, that means okay, I think wait, no, it's not even close to it's kind of close to the end of the stream. But yeah, let's just go through all of these first. I really don't want to because it's kind of boring. This checking stuff, just yen, sa, wa, dan. Okay. We can call this like Proto Southern Mandarin and then like bring in another one next time. I think it would be Guiyang. Yeah, so I have a decent thumbnail idea for next week. Sao, I think. Sin Sao Bu. Yeah. This is exactly the word I was talking about. Because I feel like this is just unstressed short syllable bu, which ends up becoming which ends up getting like a glottal stop added to the end in Lanzin. But then that means this one's unstressed. Like this one's unstressed but not. Yeah, this one's unstressed but not short for some reason. Or like So right now I have like two conflicting theories for unstressed syllables, right? one of them is that, okay. Yeah, one of them is that they get this appended onto them. Right, the entering tone appended onto them. The other theory is that it gets, where is it? The other theory is that it gets, well, it's not this one, but whatever nasal is, yeah, here, is that it turns into the first tone in sendu, and these conflict because if this is there is a third syllable here though. So maybe if there is a third syllable and this turns into a high tone. So 土气也, 土气儿. Because if this one is 土气儿 from yen, then the ya could be reanalyzed as an e, like as part of the previous syllable, and then r stands on its own, and then that gets, no, the correspondence works out because this one's 2-4, which is probably just like an allophone of 1-3 as I remember it, and then which corresponds regularly to 2-1. It could be it. It could be like a trisyllabic word. And then just regular clitics and stuff. Not clitics, but like quote unquote unstressed function words get the entering tone treatment. Maybe that's how we explain this. Although it seems like Lancian also has like the what is it? Has a strong, the opposite of iambic, whatever the opposite of iambic is, trochaic, I think. A strong like trochaic tendency to unstress the second syllable. Anyway, let's just call this rename this to Proto-Southern Mandarin, or Proto-Southern Mandarinic. I should be consistent with my terms. And then I guess we would bring in another language next time. I guess we could do another double time. Although, judging by the last time we did something double time, it didn't work out all that well because we spent all of our time on one single lect. But it seems like Southern Mandarin kind of forms a coherent grouping. So like these three guys. Well, I don't know about these three guys yet. Exactly, but at least Chengdu and Nanjing seem to be pretty closely related. However, the tonal mismatch does seem a bit concerning for that idea. Because I remember there was like one close-knit group that you could essentially reconstruct the tonal values for. It was actually like shehua, so like 三哈 Am I doing that right? It would be like san ha. So using this, probably should use this space. They're pronounced like san ha, I think. Something like that. Anyway, don't think anything else is required in these sound changes. But yeah, I'll just call it there because I also ran out of water. And then I'll come back next week with a report on whether these all check out. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, etc. And I will see you all